All right. So, like I said, let's go through the instruments first and show what exactly is happening in this song. There are quite few things, and I guess the most important things that are happening here are the drums that were the first. And I made this rhythm a long time ago when I was testing a new sample library. So first of all, oh, okay, yeah, exactly. The way I do it, because it's I like when there's an order. So the way I do it is that I put all the instruments into folders. Like there's a folder, let's say strings, and in strings I have high strings, mid strings, and low strings, which means that high strings are violins, mid strings are violas and cellos, and low are basses. Also, there are some plucked instruments. With usually there's a dulcimer, but there's no dulcimer in this track. It's the part of my template. But also there could be like a harp, for example, or any other plucked instruments, liras, etc. And that applies to any. So the colors are just picked as the colors that I'm used to. Everyone saw on the internet using it, but different colors. So for me, when I say blue, it means strings. Yellow woodwinds, percussion is red, brass is orange, ambient violet, synth is purple, or maybe it's the opposite, I'm not sure. Choir is pink, and keys are green. Yeah, I have a template, but since the computer I have is new, I couldn't add the on the previous computer because it was a weak computer. I couldn't like have this huge templates with all the instruments loaded in. So I can do that now, but I haven't done it because it takes forever to load all the instruments into the project. So what I have is just an empty template. Like for example, here in high I have violins 1 until violins 10, cellos and violas from 1 until 10, etc. And everything is just prepared to be loaded in, but then I have to go through it and load each of the instruments its own. But there's already two advantages of that. First of all, I have the folders, so I know exactly where everything is. And the second thing is that then I can route all the instruments, for example, from high strings here. I can already put it here into the group strings. And when I'm doing mixing, I can already mix and put some effects only on the strings because all the strings are going over here. That means that I can separately put, let's say, EQ on high violins, another on mid, another on low, but then I can also put at the all section another equalizer or compressor or anything. So percussion. When writing percussion, one of the things that everyone needs to be aware of is that the lower the drums, the fewer or the separate the notes should be. Like you cannot make a good mix and good balance in the mix when you have something really crazy and fast going on in the low segment of the percussion, because it just creates mud. What the lows are doing here are just the accents, mostly. So in the context of all the percussion, it's doing the pumping that you can hear there. And then when I go to mids and high percussion, which are just some sticks and shakers, also I can see some metal here. It's the actually fast rhythms there. So yeah, like I said, the percussion was first. There are some also kicks here from a Viking library that's called Dark Era. There are some sounds that mostly all the traditional instruments were recorded live, even the drums. But Jirka doesn't have like so many drums. He has a lot of flutes and tagelharpas and bouzouki, etc. But not so many drums. Recording drums is actually quite loud, so you can have them in your apartment and record there. So this is the library that I picked because it has some really great sounds from the Viking era, etc. And not just only percussion, but all great sound design, etc. So over here, what I have there is a rusted pan. Yeah, that's an instrument that I could actually find in my kitchen. So yeah, it does sound like a pan. So in the low segment, it's mostly taikos. Taikos, and that's it. And some sub drum booms to kind of put a accent on some endings of the rhythms to create like this that boom. In the mids we have high taikos, bongos, dhol, frame drum. The frame drum is probably from no, it's all orchestra percussion. And finally some sticks, shakers, metal, so those are some pipes and other weird metal, not really percussion instruments. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So all the percussion together creates this great pumping percussion rhythm that really started this song for me. And it was way before we even talked with Jirka about doing anything like this. I think that this song was actually sounding a bit different, but then when we were talking about the songs that we could create and we were putting our ideas, I had this song that I was doing for another project, and it was I'm not sure if it was rejected, or maybe the project was cancelled or something like that, but I know that I never finished it. And I think that's pretty much it. Over here, when the orchestra kicks in, it gets a little bit more complicated. I mean, the rhythm. There are some there's an instrument that I called trash. And yeah, we have a rusty pen and trash. That's the way. What is trash? Let's find out. What is it? 4. I don't know why I called it trash. Maybe it was something else before, but yeah, it's the name. And I think that we can now move to my favorite thing, which is the recordings that Jirka was sending me. The way that our cooperation worked was either I created an idea and made a song, and then I left some spaces empty, and I was like, okay, here you need to do this and this and this, and there's this empty space, and you can do whatever you want over here. Try to find some melody or anything that you feel right, which was the case in this song. The other type of our cooperation was just that Jirka created a song that was played on his medieval instruments, and I kind of remixed it into a full song. So it was like 1 minute of a song, and I made it 4 minutes long with orchestra and everything. And I used all the instruments that he sent me, and sometimes asked him for a bit more because I needed something else. But sometimes it was his idea, and sometimes it was mine, and we were just kind of working together, trying to figure out what is the best. Yeah, some songs changed a lot, like this one. You can see up here that it's actually called The Battle Dark Version, because it is a dark version, but this song was actually quite happy sounding, but it just wasn't feeling right, so we changed it. So in this case, what I had from Jirka was nothing really complicated. Some of the songs, like Until the End, could be played just with the instruments that Jirka did. And he actually did a raw version of the song. It's on the album as well, in all the bonus content. And there's like percussion and strings and everything that he recorded. This song, it's just bouzouki and tagelharpa, and that's all. So just 2 instruments, but what I want to show later, there was one part of this song that just Jirka blew me away with his, how to put this. He's really good in creating those moments in those songs. Some melodies that are just like, oh yeah, this is absolutely beautiful. I don't know how you did that, and I don't need to know. I just want to feel like you are a magician and you're just that good. So this is how the bouzouki sounds, nothing complicated. One on the left, one on the right. And it's just the chords, nothing complicated. It's just there to accompany the drums and some sound design that is happening, because the orchestra is still not playing here, just some synths and other things that we'll go through later on. But it's just there to kind of give to the whole mix this like highs, and it has kind of belly sound. It's sparkling. Oh, Odyssey vibes, yeah, exactly. Like from the last Assassin's Creed, definitely. and it's the mostly the whole thing, but over here the tagelharpa also accompanies the bouzouki, and tagelharpa honestly is probably the most beautiful instrument. I just love it so much how it sounds, and it's the reason why I was like at the beginning of this, when I remixed a couple of Jirka songs, I was like, we have to do an album together because I just need to use this instrument and I need to use it a lot. That's why also I ordered one. So I'll have my own tagelharpa soon. Hopefully it's on the way already. It's the way how atonal it sounds. It's like it's not in the pitch, but also it is. It's not perfect. It sounds very like, I don't know. There's something about it. And one thing that blew me away was this part. I'll show you just with the drums. So when I made this song at first, I sent it to Jirka, and over here it was just an empty space. I'll send him something like this. So it was just this rhythm from the beginning, and I was like, do whatever you want, and he did with tagelharpa, and I think it sounds amazing. So I'll play you just tagelharpa with the drums. It's such a good rhythm and melody. This really reminds me Assassin's Creed Odyssey a bit. I'll play you just the tagelharpa solo. Yeah, this is something that I really enjoyed about our cooperation, and Jirka said the same thing to me. Because normally when you're creating songs, by the time you are releasing it, you have the mix and master, and you heard it so many times. You're like, I hate this song. I'm releasing it, but I hate it already. And with this, it was a bit different because I was always fan of what Jirka is doing, and he was a fan of what I'm doing. So we were kind of like fans of each other. But mostly in the songs, like I said, it's nothing really complicated, so to speak. So this is the real instruments, and now I'll go here with the drums into the sound design section. So what we have here, there's this instrument that is a part of the sample library that I told before, and it's called Horn, which is a name of one of our songs. It's just a coincidence, it's not related or anything. but this is a sound that's created from like drums and some sub bass and a trumpet. Sounds like this. It's like the loudest fart that you can rip. But it somehow it sounds really, really good with drums and everything. Okay. Yeah, boss music, exactly. Yeah, the boss is coming. Let's hear it again. You can already see the health bar and you know that it's coming. Also, I just realized that there are some drums happening, but it's a WAV file, so to hear what is it? What we have here next? A Viking Trumpet. It's technically it's not called Viking Trumpet, and it's called Trumpet Calls. I know that this is a Viking instrument or some Scandinavian instrument, but I don't know what's the name. I just know that Vardruna and other bands, they are doing this kind of music, use it a lot, but I exactly not sure what is it. But it plays the harmony at the beginning of it kind of carries the harmony from the intro that's called Silent Dawn. It's like this. Yeah, I agree. The sound is it's weird, but it sounds great. And we have some Bouquet Horns. I don't know how this is pronounced. Bouquet. It's a really funny name, isn't it? But I don't remember what it does, so let's hear it together. So those are the like kind of echoing melodies in the background in the intro of this song, and some low rhythm, synth rhythm. I use that a lot in orchestral songs as well, because normally the instruments in the orchestra don't really go that low in the mix. So I use this rhythms under it just to give it a bit of warmth. So it's really just a Hey, hi. Thanks for tuning in. You see, so also it's kind of goes with the accents of the rhythm. It's the same accent. So the feel of the pumping in the rhythm is kind of more in there. And also with the drums, we have some, it's called taiko shouts because it's the library with taikos, and they have some shouts and screams in there. So I'll put it in there because it felt very good with this kind of battle theme. People shouting into the rhythm. So it sounds like this. Let me just make it a bit louder right now. So yeah, that's the intro. And finally, after this middle part, there's basically just some ambient going on. Some ambient flute. Just like this. It's just preparing you for what is coming. Also with some choir going on here. Does it? Oh yeah, exactly. Something bad is coming. Maybe some technical difficulties again. What is actually coming here is the orchestra. Strings and brass. So let's go through the strings first. Oh, you were right. Something bad is really coming. This sounds like another boss theme. If you ever played God of War, the first 2 or 3 God of Wars, when it was happening with the Greek mythology, the soundtrack there kind of reminds me this track. It was not my intention, but when I heard it, the song. After I wrote it, I was like, yeah, it kind of reminds me the first God of War. And as I said before, that the real instruments are there to just kind of give it this high belly sound. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's just in the background giving the tempo and it's kind of going forward, but also it's not doing nothing complicated. Okay, another thing, and it's probably one of the last things in this song, is the part that I already talked about. It's this one. I heard in my mind what I want to do, and I knew that I need some voices here, but the sample library that I was using had something in mind, something in it that I wanted, but only just 2 notes that I needed. So what I had to do is that I recorded this one. Let me mute this. I recorded this. And that was all. That was the full melody, but I needed it more. I needed to go more and more up there. So I recorded it and then just transposed it. So on its own, it sounds pretty bad. But in the context of the whole song, you can't really hear it. And it sounds like this woman is singing the full melody. You see, like, it sounds kind of weird, but with everything, what is going on here, you can't hear it anymore. That's pretty much it in this song, I think. It's just the piano at the end.